What makes a man a man?
How much of man is animal?
Does a woman need a man?
Or does a woman truly need a man who is an animal?
Is the jungle really the harshest and most unforgiving landscape on planet Earth?
A man.
Or is the city, in fact, the cruelest jungle?
Join us.
Join us.
Join us to explore.
Man.
Animal.
City.
Jungle.
Crocodile.
In the city that never sleeps, important men and women go about their busy schedules.
We explore the hustle and the bustle of the offices of Newsday magazine.
Newsday magazine. Why, that's a publication that we have all heard of before.
Trustworthy.
Important.
And this is 1986, when being a trustworthy news source still means something.
Let's take a peek inside the bustling Newsweek newsroom.
Sue, I'm not going to your work. I got your piece here, and it's great. It's just that you were due back yesterday,
Says Richard, an efficient-looking 1980s yuppie Newsday editor.
On the other end of the phone is Sue, classy but tough as nails reporter at large.
No, but Richard, there is one more story that I just have to do. Would you listen to this? Last month, this guy in the Northern Territory was attacked by a crocodile. The thing bit his leg right off, left him there to die 100 miles from nowhere. A week later, he crawls out of the bush, gets patched up, and disappears.
so
So I tracked him down. He runs a safari business out of somewhere called Walkabout Creek. And get this, his name is Michael J. Crocodile Dundee.
okay, dear, I trust you.
I miss you too, honey.
And just like that, we have an established relationship.
Be careful out there.
Hey, don't worry. I'm a New Yorker.
Cut to,
The unforgiving terrain of the Australian outback.
what's that we see?
Paul Hogan.
Name above the title card?
Paul motherfrickin' Hogan.
That's right. Paul Matherfrackin' Hogan is
Crocodile Dundee.
A helicopter zooms across the terrifying emptiness of the outback.
Sue is wearing a smart white blazer, a headscarf, and sunglasses a la Jackie O, as well as leather gloves.
This is how New Yorkers dress for the outback.
Hello, Walter Riley. Never safaris. I'm Mr. Dundee's business partner. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Dundee isn't here to meet you himself.
They arrive at the, quaint Walkabout Creek Hotel.
Where the only thing advertised is Foster's beer.
Later that evening, Sue and Walter sit, having a drink,
We assume it's a Foster's.
in the Walkabout Creek pub.
Every single person there is a nearly identical Australian outback cliche, with slight variations thrown in for authenticity.
This one has a leather vest.
This one has a plaid shirt.
This one has cut off sleeves.
This one has rolled up sleeves.
But they are all wearing the exact same hat.
So what's this sideshow all about?
Oh, that's just boys having fun. We're a pretty tough breed up here.
A giant Australian man called Donk balances a pint of beer
We assume it is a Foster's.
on top of his head, while rolled up sleeves and leather vests take turns punching him in the gut.
Dogs never spilled a drop. We're a pretty tough breed up here.
And Mr. Dundee?
Oh, he's a legend. I mean, there he was just doing a quiet spot of fishing when all of a sudden, bang, his crocodile comes up, giant it is, turned him over, bit his leg off, dragged him down under. Any normal man would have turned up his toes and died, but not our Mick. No, hundreds of miles, snake-infested swamps. He crawled on his hands and knees.
Straight past the hospital and into the first pub for a beer. That story gets better every time you tell it, Wally.
All of the sudden,
A big freaking knife comes flying through the room and stabs itself into the bar.
Sue gasps.
All around the bar, there is commotion.
A big freaking crocodile comes flying into the room.
And it pulls up a seat at the bar alongside Mick Dundee.
2 beers, please.
We'll assume they're Fosters.
I'm sorry if he frightened you, miss. You see, it's stuffed.
Him and me both, Walt.
Mick pulls his big freaking knife out of the bar and saunters over, the stuffed croc under one arm.
He is filthy.
A filthy cowboy hat with crocodile teeth, and the band sits on top of a weather-beaten, filthy face.
Crocodile tooth necklace peeks out from the low, plunging neckline of his filthy crocodile skin vest, and with no shirt of any kind underneath. We are all invited to feast our eyes on Dundee's filthy arms and hairy chest.
He is gross.
But some people consider that really sexy, don't they?
Question for you.
The audience.
Who among you find the sweaty, musky, muscled Australian bushman a real turn on?
And who among you would really think twice about accompanying this unkempt madman to a second location?
Half of you are right.
And the other half need to remind themselves that he carries around a stuffed crocodile to frighten people.
And he did just hurl a very large and dangerous knife into a room full of people.
Questionable behavior?
Michael J. Crocodile Dundee.
Sue Charleston, Newsday Magazine.
Mike wipes his filthy hands on his filthy pants before grabbing Sue and forcing her on the dance floor.
Questionable behavior.
The slightly varied but mostly cliche Australian men hoot and holler.
Legend has it a crocodile nearly took your leg off.
Slight exaggeration. More like a love bite.
Mick reveals a mangled and disgusting filthy scar to Sue. It seems legit. I mean, it looks like it hurt. Probably a lot.
But enough about me leg. Let me tell you about the rest of me. Way up in the Never Never, where the land is harsh and bare, lives a mighty hunter named Mick Dundee, who can dance like Fred Astaire.
Meanwhile,
At a nearby table, a pair of cliche Australian men do not like the looks of Mick Dundee.
Who's this clown?
He's the guy who grabbed the cock in the river.
So, just a bloody poacher, eh? Hey, Dundee, where can a man shoot a few crocs around here?
Well, how would I know? Shit for brains.
We made the artistic choice to include that long, awkward pause in our performance to best represent Paul Hogan's actual performance. It really seems as if he is asking, how would I know? And do you have shit for brains? As if he might be concerned.
Oh, come on, Dundee. Everyone in this dog in this joint knows you're nothing but a bloody croc poacher.
Mick Dundee uses one hand to punch this cliche Australian man in the face, knocking him out cold.
With the other hand, he's still hanging on to Sue so she can't get away from their uncomfortable dancing.
questionable behavior.
Sorry about that, but I won't have anyone using bad language in front of a lady.
I wonder what third-wave feminists would think about that.
What was it he was saying about you being a poacher?
Mick glances around nervously and then finally releases Sue from his Fred Astaire of the Outback death grip.
Hey, Dunk! Tonight's me lucky night.
Oh, hooray! Mick Dundee is going to try to knock the beer off of Donk's head.
What an excellent distraction of accusation of poaching.
I've certainly forgotten all about it.
Wait a minute, because a hilarious twist is on the horizon?
Instead of punching Donk in the stomach, Mick Dundee kisses him on the mouth.
Beer, we're assuming it's Foster's, flies all over the place as they fist fight.
A second brawl in this quaint little bar since Mick Dundee walked in.
Gosh, Mick Dundee sure is good at distracting people from important information.
Hmm.
And we've already seen casual misogyny and homophobia.
But it's only 10 minutes into the movie.
But it is 1986.
Shame on you, 1986, and your casual misogyny.
Stop it already, 1986, with your latent homophobia.
Let's not get too worried about it, guys, because they're heading...
Into the outback.
During the drive, we learned that Mick Dundee was raised by Aborigines, doesn't know how old he is, and is unmarried.
And we learned what a walkabout is.
And what is it?
It's a thing where you just sort of walk around.
And ditch all of your actual responsibilities?
Basically.
Sounds like a great idea.
Now hold up just a minute, everyone, because Mick Crocodile Dundee is about to hypnotize a water buffalo by kind of humming at it and telling it to hang 10.
Wow. Maybe Mick Dundee really is an accomplished and trustworthy naturalist.
Or maybe he just mind groupied a water buffalo.
Well, all right then. This is where I leave you in Mick's capable hands. I'll pick you up on Wednesday.
Mick Dundee sneaks a look at Wally's watch while Sue isn't looking.
Judging by the sun, it's about 2:20. We better get started.
2:20?
Right, that's how we do it here in the bush. Don't you worry, miss. He's the best bushman in the territory.
Nothing to say about that, Bridget? No?
All right, well, see you Wednesday.
Wednesday, yep. What day is today?
Monday.
Right.
Doesn't know, doesn't care. Lucky bastard.
Mick and Sue pick up their way through the bush.
You okay back there, lady?
I'm fine.
It's only about an hour to the river, but you being a Sheila and all, it'll probably take 2.
I don't like that.
Anyway, the unlikely duo finally picked their way over to the broken remains of Mick's fishing boat.
Gosh, you were hunting crocodiles in this little boat?
No, hunting crocs is illegal. I was just fishing.
How'd you get away?
Crocs don't like fresh meat. He wasn't trying to eat me on the spot. He just wanted to grab a hold of me and take me down for a death roll.
A death roll?
Yeah. See, a croc will grab you, take you down to the bottom of the water and roll you over and over and over till you stop kicking. Anyway, he wasn't happy with the grip he had on me, so he let go to get a better one, and I talked him out of it.
Sue discovers a giant pile of shell casings in the bottom of the boat.
I thought you were just out fishing.
Well, a barramунdi's a bloody big fish.
As they journey through the bush.
Sue attempts to engage Mick Crocodile Dundee in political discourse.
Haven't you ever protested anything?
Sure, every time I get tossed out of the pub.
Okay, where does someone like you stand on the arms race?
None of my business.
None of your business. It's everybody's business. You have to have an opinion. You have to have a voice. Okay, something closer to home. The Aborigines. How do you feel about their claim to get the land back?
Well, you see, Aborigines don't own the land. They belong to it, like it's their mother. So arguing over who owns the land is a bit like 2 fleas arguing over who owns the dog they live on.
I think I know how you must have felt, or how I'd feel if I were out here alone.
You out here alone? That's a joke. A city girl like you wouldn't last 5 minutes. This is a man's country out here.
Ooh, casual misogyny.
That's right. I'm only a Sheila. We're headed for the river today, right?
Sue defiantly shoulders her backpack.
See you there this afternoon.
Hours later, Sue stumbles across the outback, sipping from her canteen and possibly questioning her defiance.
Not worry, Mick is following close behind.
Watching from the trees and through the bushes.
Questionable behavior?
Right up until the moment when Sue bends over the stream to refill her canteen and a croc jumps out of the water and grabs it.
The strap is stuck around her neck. Oh no, the animatronic croc might get her.
Serves her right for being a know-it-all city, Sheila.
Mick, Crocodile Dundee, leaps out of a tree and stabs the croc right in its prehistoric brain.
Paul Mother Flippin' Hogan.
Now I don't know whose side I'm on.
I think she was right to stand up for herself and try to prove that she was capable.
But he did save her life.
And she didn't need a man to save her life.
Do you think this movie will pass the Bechdel test?
I think we're asking the wrong questions.
Later that night, Mick and Sue relaxed by the campfire.
Well, you were right. There's definitely no place for a city girl.
I don't know. From what Walt's told me, living in the city can be just as dangerous.
Haven't you ever been to a city?
I've never been to a city.
That croc was going to eat me alive.
I wouldn't hold that against him. Thoughts crossed my mind once or twice.
I'm not sure what he means by that.
Mick, when I go back, why don't you come with me? It would make a great wrap to the story. You in New York City.
For a minute there, I thought you were making a pass at me.
I might have been. Would you mind?
What is happening?
They kiss while we, the audience, are left wondering if we're supposed to forget about the boyfriend in New York.
Luckily, Wally shows up at that moment and rescues us from the love scene that might have happened.
Cut to,
Mick on a plane.
oh boy, he does not like that.
And then,
New York City.
Richard, the boyfriend, is there.
Sue! Sue!
Good day, mate.
So, where's Jungle Jim?
We catch sight of Mick Crocodile Dundee trying to make sense of an escalator.
Stairs that move?
Now who's out of his element?
New York City, Mr. Dundee, home to 7 million people.
imagine that. 7 million people all wanting to live this close together. New York must be the friendliest place on earth.
Sue and Richard share a snide smile. Won't it be fun to watch this fish out of water Australian learn that everyone in New York City is an insufferable butthead?
What fun!
Wait a minute. Is there limo driver Carl from Family Matters?
Is.
You know what that means.
We were about to experience some casual racism.
What tribe are you from?
I'm not from any tribe.
You black fella, ain't ya?
Last time I looked.
Well, no one back home has a flash car like this, so you must be doing all right for yourself.
Carl from Family Matters doesn't know what to think.
But wait, something even more alarming is about to take place as Mick Dundee smokes a cigarette in an elevator and everyone is just fine with it.
Stop it, 1986.
Inside the hotel room,
Mick discovers the bathroom.
Hey, Sue! Some nitwit went and put 2 dunnies in here.
One dunny, one bidet. You figure it out.
And then he cleans his boots in it. Adorable.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm back on his side.
He's won me over.
This idiot doesn't know anything.
So cute.
Mick goes exploring in the big city.
He can't figure out how to walk around so many people.
Good day. Sorry. Good day. Good day. Sorry. Whoops. Sorry. Good day. Good day. Good day.
Later.
At dinner,
This will be quite a novelty for you, won't it, Mick? Eating something without having to kill it first?
good news, everybody.
Now that we're back on Mick Dundee's side, we can hate this judgmental yuppie.
Hooray!
New York is no place for a country gent. Ain't no crocodiles out here, but a fast-moving Chevy would sure make a mess out of you. Ha! Ha! Ha!
This guy is a jerk.
I felt bad for him like 2 scenes ago.
This movie really toys with your emotions.
Frustrated, Mick goes out on the town and regaling the New York locals with stories of Down Under.
Nothing against your black widows, you see, but the funnel web spider can kill a man in 9 seconds just by looking at him. Of course, the real danger is the sharks. You know, like Jaws. I caught one of them 3 weeks ago, cut him open, and you know what I found inside? 3 Filipino fishermen.
These are real lines from the movie, folks.
They were still in their boat.
What fun. Mick learns what a high five is.
And then Mick learns what a transgender person is.
And you just know he handled that situation with grace and dignity.
Nope! Mick Crocodile Dundee grabs her right in the coos, humiliating her in front of the whole bar full of people. And boy, did they laugh and laugh.
Boo, 1986.
What other good times can Mick get into here in the big city?
How about sex workers? They don't have those in Australia.
Looking for a good time?
Always.
Hey, this is the guy I've been reading about in the paper. I've been reading about him in the paper. He's a regular Tarzan. Wrestles alligators, eats snakes. Hey, Tarzan, this your first trip to New York?
It's my first trip anywhere.
Well, hell, we might just have to give you one for free.
On what? Oh, we could go to a movie or take in a dance.
Hey, girls, we working tonight or are we socializing?
Hey, pal, I was just talking to the ladies and making a bit of progress. Scram.
Well, are you gonna talk all night, my man, or are you gonna pick one of them?
Mick smiles, which is really creepy, and then hauls off and socks this pimp right in the pie hole.
Sorry about that, ladies.
The next day, we find Mick taking a relaxing bubble bath and washing his socks at the same time. What a character.
Cut 2.
A swanky New York party scene.
Sue introduces Mick to a handsome woman with a very deep voice.
Tell me, who's the new man?
This is the man I'm writing about, Mick Dundee.
Something the matter, darling?
Mick, thinking he knows the score now that he has been in the big city for an entire of 24 hours, grabs the woman's crotch, expecting to find a penis, you know, like he did before.
Which he doesn't.
It's all right. He's Australian.
Maybe I better go there someday.
2.
Mick and Sue out for a stroll on the pleasant city streets.
Out of nowhere, they are accosted by a hooligan.
Who is dressed identically to Michael Jackson in the Thriller video.
Hooray!
1986.
Hooligan Michael Jackson pulls out a knife.
Give me your wallet.
Mick, give him your wallet.
What for?
He's got a knife.
Ah, that's not a knife.
Mick pulls the biggest, craziest, most irresponsible Bowie knife any human being has ever seen on the guy.
That's a knife.
Mick slices up the Michael Jackson hooligan, his cheesy leather jacket, and he scampers away in sheer terror.
Just kids having fun.
Has anyone started to wonder where Sue's boyfriend, Richard, the sanctimonious yuppie asshole, has been this whole time?
No.
Are you all right?
I'm always all right when I'm with you, Dundee. Gosh, that sounds corny, doesn't it?
Yes.
Why do you always make me feel like Jane in a Tarzan comic?
They kiss.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
Okay.
ah.
Meanwhile, Sue's father, the newspaper bigwig, has invited Sue, Mick, and Richard to the weekend house for a welcome dinner.
This house is bigger and fancier than the biggest and fanciest weekend house you can imagine.
The guests are all stuffy, rich, white people.
Are you involved in cattle, Mr. Dundee?
Mostly buffalo.
Do you breed them?
Oh no, I mostly just toss them.
And how are you finding New York?
Bit of a lunatic asylum,
Oh.
which is why I love it, because I fit right in.
Attention, everyone. Friends? I guess everyone in the room knows how Sue and I feel about each other. And now Sue has come back to us. Delivered, literally, out of the jaws of death by our new friend, Mr. Michael J. Dundee. A man to whom I am doubly indebted because not only did he bring the woman I love back to me, but he managed to increase the circulation of the paper in the process. Her father said to me earlier, "You're her editor. Can't you stop her from taking all these dangerous assignments?" Well, I haven't had much influence as her editor, but maybe I will as her husband.
Oh.
The next
day,
Mick has decided to go on walkabout and see all of America on foot.
He heads for the subway.
But in a sudden change of heart and without any plot explanation whatsoever, apparently Sue has decided to give up on Richard and is chasing down Mick Crocodile Dundee.
Now I kind of feel bad for Richard.
Yeah, he was sort of an ass at one time, but other than that, he really didn't do anything wrong.
and Sue was pretty much stepping out on him the whole time.
Holy cow, you guys. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel right now.
Well, let's just keep it simple and root for Mick and Sue at this point, since there's only 7 minutes left in the movie.
Hooray, 7 minutes!
Sue tosses her shoes, the better to run with.
She's no Bryce Dallas Howard in Jurassic World, that's for sure.
And now she probably has hepatitis from running barefoot on the 1986 streets of New York.
Finally, she makes it to the extremely crowded subway.
Mick Dundee, ahoo!
Mick can't hear her, but she does get the attention of a random guy.
What's up, lady?
I need to talk to that man, the one on the end, in the black hat.
Hey!
Random guy gets the attention of a hard hat wearing construction worker.
Yeah, what about it?
The lady needs to talk to the guy in the black hat.
Hey, fella, you in the hat. The lady down at the end wants to see you.
What does she want?
What does she want?
What do you want?
Tell him not to leave. I'm not gonna marry Richard.
Tell him don't leave. She's not gonna marry Richard.
Don't leave. I ain't gonna marry Richard.
Why not?
I don't know. Why not?
Why not?
Tell him I love him. I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
She loves me? Well, tell her, never mind. I'll tell her myself. I'm coming through.
It's too crowded in here. We're packed in like sheep.
Mick uses Australian ingenuity to walk across the heads of all the New York subway goers and make his way to Sue.
See, New Yorkers are great.
Even in 1986.
I'm on their side.
Good, because Mick and Sue kiss and the movie is over.
I'm not sure what we've learned.
Is man greater than nature?
Is the big city truly the harshest landscape?
Does anyone still kind of feel bad for the jilted boyfriend, Richard?
Or a little queasy about all of this questionable behavior?
I think we should all agree it's best to just forget all of that.
Thanks, Paul Mother Flippin' Hogan.
You truly are.
Crocodile
Crocodile
Dundee.
Dundee.